let me just open the right document for you.
Sir, also you forgot to introduce yourself, I believe.
That's what I will do that as a part of slide. Actually,
Sure.
I cleaned up my. Right. Yes, this is what I just thought of sharing. Okay. So hello everyone, and today we are just going to discuss about the GRC access control. Okay, and it's a demo session. Like we will see what we will be covering and how we will go ahead. So basically, I am Murthy. I have an experience of about 15 years, and I just started my career 1.5 decade back in a finance domain, where I have complete exposure towards accounts in finance completely, and then I just went into a SAP domain through SAP FI, and I found myself interested in the security, and I just stayed in security with audit, controls establishments, and governance, risk and compliance. There I have also had an experience of implementing GRC, and then I just after implementing I worked also from GRC functional side as a senior SOD advisor for a company which is listed in the NASDAQ for 120 countries. And then currently I am also working as an SMA for GRC, and right now I personally support GRC functionalities of the client and access control, process control, and SAP security, which includes almost all the landscapes, including process integration, mobile infra, BPC, BI, BW, HR, ECC, etc. This is what basically my exposure towards towards the knowledge what we'll be sharing, and also I have trained about more than 100 people in GRC access control, and I also had an exposure in process control, which I have given a lot of corporate trainings on process control. And then I mean, like the people who have received the trainings have been migrated. A lot of people migrated to US also, where they are working in very big companies, good companies. Okay, this is what the background about me, and we'll go ahead. So today we'll discuss about the course curriculum and the platform of GRC, and I'll introduce you to the access control. And I'll also show how the challenges we have in the access control and how GRC brought in solution with the with its components. Okay, and also the components of GRC we'll see, and we'll see the landscape, and we'll have a glance of the documents which I'll be providing you. Okay, so that you'll have an idea that what's the support you will be getting from our side, and also how you can go ahead in learning the things. Okay. We of course we give complete support on I mean, like we give guidance on your career path and other things, and also if you want interested in certification also, like I can share my experience where I have also went into I mean completed the certification, how I've kept efforts and how I have made, so all that guidance I can just give you. Okay, this is what the course I mean, like this is what the agenda today, what we have discussed, what we'll be going to discuss. And before going ahead, now I just wanted to expose towards GRC for you. So GRC, the full form is governance, risk and compliance. Okay, governance, basically we say that whatever the topmost people will take a decision for the effective implementation at a floor level, that need to be really to be implemented very effectively. where it should be executed at floor level, okay, then the governance is presence. This is what the basic meaning what we consider the governance is. And with regards to the risk, okay, the risk is any adverse effect, okay, or I mean like directly or indirectly affecting our business and its favorable conditions can be considered as a risk, okay. Now coming to the compliance, I just tell you the compliance of two types. One is statutory, that's mandatory as per Land of Act, and which is voluntary. This is mandatory as per organization's policies, its mission, its ethics, values, whatever it have. Okay, based on that, whatever the policies they make, that also need to be complied mandatorily. Okay, but it is a voluntary, not as per Land of Act. I hope it is clear for about all these three concepts. Or do you want me to just give any clarification on this? Hope it is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right. Now, coming to this GRC, we have certain platforms, okay, where all these three will be satisfied. Okay. Now coming to the technical aspects, platforms of SAP GRC. Okay. Now here we have financial compliance, trade management, environment regulation. This is the wide GRC components what we are having. I'm just taking you through. Let us open another document here. See, basically, before going ahead, okay, let us discuss on each concept. Like, see, let us take environment regulation. Okay, why environment regulation is part of GRC? See, if you go in a car or a bike, okay, what are the documents you will be carrying? You'll be carrying also a pollution control certificate, isn't it? Pollution control certificate, if you are carrying, that means like it's an environmental regulation what has been provided technically, okay, based on the norms of the government, saying that these are the limits of the carbon releases you are eligible to be using any motor or anything in this area. Okay, so you have undergone a pollution clearance certificate saying that your limits of carbon releases is much more better than what the government standards has been established. Okay, so it's a regulation aspect, isn't it? That's the reason you are carrying the pollution clearance. Like that, whatever the industry or process or whatever the business you are engaged in, okay, their environmental regulations are absolutely very important for you to comply with. The one and most powerful department anywhere in the world which can lock your company overnight is, I'll say, that environmental department only. Okay, so basically pollution clearance is what a very important aspect, where we have different modules here. We have soil water waste management module and chemicals like acids and other processing industries, where they have a compliance issue. Okay, you supply acid. Okay, what are the compliance, what are the safety norms you will follow, okay, in the process of transportation, etc. That's the compliance for products. And REACH compliance is like how we have a water, soil and waste management in the industry. Here we have a chemical management, and we have environmental health and safety management. This is the best practices and also the safety measures what the organization has been established in the process of business. Okay, like if it is a construction industry, you have to comply with all the safety equipments, wearing of safety equipments, helmets and other hand gloves, etc. And coming to the IT industry, you have to comply with the ergonomics. Ergonomics is like the chair what you use and the table, distance between the chair and table and other things, the standard norms which will be not damaging your health is what the important things we need to consider. All these things will be taken care by GRC. Environment regulation is one of the modules we have. And we have a trade management where the business happens not on the processing but on the trading, like import, export, other countries, regulations, okay, policies which we need to consider. Okay, all these things will be taken care by GTS. I can give you an example here very simply, that different countries will have different regulations on different products, isn't it? If you are very much familiar with the business of I mean telephones, I mean what do you say, uh, telenetworking. Okay, telenetworking is what the business you have in one country. Where you want to start your business in India, you have to comply with TRAI regulations, Telephone Regulatory Authority of India Limited. If you are good in insurance, if you want your insurance business to be started in India, you have to go through IRIDA. Okay, so in the same way, these regulations will be existing in all the countries with based on the business, based on the products. Okay, and you need to comply with those if you want to do the business, and also if you want to export certain products to the any other country, also need to be considered the regulations of the other countries. Okay, so these are the important things which you need to consider. So why this module became so popular is your topmost management working somewhere in the head office want to be under compliance globally wherever they do the business, isn't it? Now Hindustan Unilever Limited, the people located in different places in US or UK where they'll be staying in their business at head office can't comply, I mean can't answerable for the complaints of their business process in somewhere in the corner of in India or in Malaysia. Okay, so because of that issue, to answer those challenges, this GTS has been introduced, which is helping them a lot. Okay, so I hope you have basically some idea on the GTS. Okay,
Yeah.
in the process of our regular classes, I can give some more exposure towards that. If not, it will be much for us. Okay, now GRC also have some other modules called fraud management, audit management, enterprise threat management, access violation management. It's a cloud-based access control. Okay, so these are the different modules which GRC is having and has been introducing every day with some many more developments. Okay, fraud management is where your business also involved by some of the customers massively. Like you have a electricity at home. That electricity I mean whoever I mean like there is a electricity generation is there, electricity transmission is there. A transmission company is having a customers all, okay, where they can influence his business, isn't it? You can some customers can take a line with unofficial line, okay, of the electricity to the shopping mall or the industry. Okay, whereas a customer also is having some chances to do certain frauds. Okay, not only people who have directly involved, okay, in the business, outside the business also some things may happen. So those things will be taken care by fraud management. Okay, now coming to the financial compliance. See, under financial compliance we have three modules. This financial compliance will be with a software called GRC Foundation for ABAP, and we have three modules: risk management, process control, and access control. With regards to the risk management, basically you want to do your business. Okay, the business should run successfully, which is happening. Okay, what are the other things you need to take care? Other things is business continuity, business growth. If you stop your business growth, that means your sustaining is having a challenge. Okay, today or tomorrow you may close. So to sustain, at least you have to grow. Okay, it's like life. Okay, we stop growth when we, I mean like when we are not surviving. In the same way, business also to sustain, it has to grow. So for the growing, you should have a business continuity plan. Okay, the business continuity plan means like the business should not stop at any moment based on any circumstances. Okay, now today you are having a thermal industry, thermal power generation. You are using coal and generating the power. Tomorrow that coal in the mines are getting exhausted. After 25 years, still you want to be engaged in the power generation. Then what you do? Today only you go and have a deal with the uranium supply for the power generation for tomorrow, so that you will have a nuclear power plants. Today only have a deal with the wind energy, solar energy with the government and get the licenses and start working on that. Okay, that's the business continuity. Understood? So these things will be taken care by risk management also. Okay, now. So risk management here they have certain sub modules like their plan risk, the risk, they identify the risk, they go for a risk response and monitor the risk, etc. will happen here. Now coming to the process control. See, basically the business should run by its own, okay? Because big corporates, no one is the owner. Everyone is having their own responsibility in running the business. So in the process of business, you may have certain areas where you can do certain frauds. Okay, you have certain area where you can do certain, fraudulent activity which can damage the organization. What do? In such a process, wherever you found the risk, then you establish a control. Okay. Example, we will take couple of examples and we'll go ahead. Now, I just wanted some interaction session. Okay, I just want to ask you one question. If you go to a supermarket, okay, you will be buying some material where it has got billed at a counter where you have paid. Okay. Now, if the salesperson, okay, gives you a product, costly product, unbilling, without billing, and takes some money from you and keeps in her pocket. Okay, how do you control this risk? Isn't it? This can be happening. It will not happen, but there is a chance. Why it's not happening? Because there is a control established. What control has been established to stop it? Have you just observed what will happen there? See, in the process of business at the billing counter, there is a possibility to provide you a bigger, costlier product without billing. How do you control that type of fraudulent activities? It's nothing but at a exit gate, your invoice is checked by a security guard who will be randomly checking, verifying the products in your bag and stamp, saying that the products you are carrying are in line with the invoice what has been made. Hope it is clear for you. This as checkpoint by a security guard is a control you have established to answer the challenge of fraudulent activity at a billing counter. Hope I am clear, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Right. Now, these controls you will find in everywhere in the business. Okay. So these controls hierarchy are maintained through process control. Okay. This process control is having many dimensions which will be taking care all those things. Okay, but basically to say at a higher level, like all the controls established in the business hierarchy are maintained and always checked its effectiveness at a floor level through process control. Now we have GRC access control. This is the core what we need to discuss for today. Before going ahead discussing with this, I just want to take you towards the functionality of access control, then I'll give introduction about it. Okay, so we have started with delayed, isn't it, today? So I can take your session, still 30 more minutes, isn't it? Is it okay for you?
Okay. Okay.
Right, if not, I can reduce it to 5 to 10 minutes, not a problem.
No problem.
No.
You can extend it.
Here we are going through some of the some of the modules which we have in the GRC. So we have seen the access control application which we will discuss right now, okay, which has been highlighted, and we have a process control, risk management, and we have fraud management, audit management, global trade services. Okay, Nota Physica is that electronic SAP electronic invoicing. That is a Brazil application. Actually, that Brazil, no, whenever a sale happens, the sale invoice need to be approved by the local authorities. Okay, the thing exists even in India also. The Central Access Department is there where you will, when you sell a product, okay, a copy of your invoice should go to the Central Access also. Okay, then they will have a complete control on your invoice process and ensures that you are not doing any fraudulent activity by missing the invoicing, because it is the highest revenue source in India. Like that you have certain things in the Brazil also, but it is not Brazil is so bad, like they have to approve, then only you need to finalize the invoice. That's what the SAP is giving a solution for that. Okay, it's an SAP electronic. Brazil is more complicated than India on the compliance issues. Coming to the security, we have a single sign-on. IDMS is there, Identity Management Application. Enterprise Threat Detection also is there. And we have a solution expertise extensions like access violation management is what a cloud-based access control, which has been introduced by Greenlight, which have been taken over by SAP, I think. Okay, it's a cloud-based access control. And we have some other like regulation management application that's also from Greenlight. Okay, and we have some other from Next Labs. Okay, these are the applications externally other than SAP which has been introduced. Okay, so now going to the access control core. Okay, see, basically when we have engaged in the business means you can manufacture, you can sell a product there, or you can list your company in the stock exchange there. Okay, so if anyone have shares in any organization, if anyone have shares in any organization, then just a moment, then you will understand that how then you will understand that listing of the market. Some of the shares, some of the companies which will be listed in Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, in Japan Stock Exchange, Singapore Stock Exchange, they will be also some of them can be listed in the US Stock Exchange called NASDAQ. Okay, so all these things which have been listed in the market, okay, that means which it has opened for the public to invest in their company through shares. Okay, those are listed companies. Okay, and I think they has to comply with the aspects, with the statutory requirements of that country's exchange commission. Okay, now Reddy Labs is there, which is listed in India. They will comply with the register of companies in India because they are listed in Bombay Stock Exchange. In the same way, Reddy Labs also listed in the NASDAQ. Reddy Labs also listed in the NASDAQ. That means like US. Reddy Labs also listed in the US. Okay, so they have to comply with the US norms also. Okay, now before going ahead, just give me a 5 seconds break.
Okay. Sure.
Processing you are manufacturing a product. You have to comply with that state government, central government in India. If it is, you are selling a product, you have to comply with that wherever you are selling. And like medicines from Reddy Labs will be sold in the US, then you have to comply with FDA. And again, it has been listed. Based on the listing, whatever is happening, okay, that and there also you need to comply with the local wherever it has got listed. Okay, that means like when people have invested in your organization, automatically the watchdogs also observe. What are the watchdogs? Those are nothing but the legalities. US Security and Exchange Commission. Okay, this is the US one, which is a watchdog for the US listed organizations. Okay, like you have SEBI in India. What SEBI will do is SEBI will be focusing on the listing organizations and other debentures or shares issued to the public. Wherever the public go and invest their money, automatically SEBI will be taking care of those norms. Okay, now this exchange commission, whatever is there, it is saying you have to comply with SOX. You have to comply, if not, your listing will be going for a toss. See, listing is going for a toss is not a joke. Okay, today I have kept all my money in a company or shares. Tomorrow when I want to encash that for my personal reasons, and if it is not present in the stock exchange, where do I sell the shares? Isn't it? It's a biggest damage to the company if it has got delisted any time in the history. Okay, so absolutely it should not be delisted in the history at all. But if you are not comply with the SOX, no, you will be delisted. Okay, so that is the important aspect which you need to always consider with regards to the SOX. Okay, this SOX actually basically before 2002 there are certain fraudulent activities has been taken place in US, whereas the two senators came and introduced a new compliance called Sarbanes-Oxley. Those two senators are Michael J. Oxley and Paul Sarbanes. Therefore, the names extracted from their titles only, Sarbanes-Oxley. Okay, so it has been enacted in 2002 July, and now there is a technical name also is there for it. It is Public Company, okay, Accounting Reform Investor Protection Act. Public company means company which is listed publicly. Accounting reform, bring reform into your business and accounts, okay, for Investor Protection Act. That is the technical name of SOX. Okay, now this Sarbanes-Oxley have become a SOX, and it have become a term, not the name. Okay, now the SOX, you have US SOX Act, Canadian SOX, European SOX, Japanese SOX. Okay, some BDSG from Germany and GAISP from India. These are certain standards which have been introduced by all the countries to comply with certain challenges. Okay, I hope you have understood what the SOX is as of now. Now, I said one point to you. What is that? I said investors protection, isn't it? From whom we protect the investors? I want an answer. Today I have invested my money into a company. From whom my money and myself should be getting protected from? Can I know? From whom? From?
Sorry?
I have invested my investment into a shares of XYZ company. Okay? And
Okay.
Act is saying I should be protected. That is the Act, isn't it? My investment, I have invested, my investor should be protected, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
from whom I should be protected? Because I have invested in an organization, isn't it?
From the company,
So,
yeah.
from the organization's management, isn't it?
Yes.
They may do certain frauds so that my investments go for a toss, isn't it? So I should be protected from the management and also from the employees of the organization, because they do the business. To control this, we have to go with the internal control establishment. Okay, external auditors will come and check each and every spending of the inflow and outflow of the money and other accounts, and they will certify. Well and good, but their certification will be effective only when internal controls are established, which will be taken care by group internal auditors. Okay, this internal controls will be taken care through SOX 404, SOX Act 404. What are these? Let us take an example. One internal control we have seen, no? When we go for a supermarket, we have a check at a security, isn't it? Invoice and the products. Yeah. In the same way, this person here, he could able to open the vendor master, okay, who supplies the material to the company, and change the bank details to his friend's account. Okay. Then the same person also is having the access to payment process. Then he have pulled 2-3 invoices of that supplier and done the payment. Company is thinking that the payment made to the vendor, but where did the money gone?
To his friend's account.
Yeah, to his friend's account. I have changed the vendor master bank details. That IBAN number and other things he have changed. So a person, now you need an internal control there. Example again. I will take you to the old example. If I have only billed in the supermarket, I have only taken money, I have only given the invoice. I only comes to the security gate and stamp it. Is there any meaning?
No. No.
No. No. That's right. That doesn't mean. Okay. So you should have a segregation of duties. If these two duties becomes under one person, he can do fraud just like that. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So here what I am telling is, here you should have a segregation of duties. So this vendor master changes and payment run should not be with a one person. This is what the SOX is saying. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this is the compliance requirement for all the businesses. They understood. They're doing a number of businesses. They understood what need to be complied with. Now, their business are run through ERPs. SAP, Workday, all these ERPs are running their businesses. Now, those people came to this service providers and said that, okay, we want the solution for the above. Then these people have introduced the concept called access management. This lady, she is trying to navigate to different areas in the office, but you have restricted the access to her access card, that she can go to a common area, she can go to her floor, she can go to her wing, she can go to her cubicle area only, whereas her restricted is controlled through the access card. This has been done by the admin department. Okay, like this, if you also control the access in the systems, you work for sales, then you need only SRM. You don't need any HR access. So go have a SRM system access. Don't have any ECC. You works for HR. You have only ECC access. Don't have any SRM access. Like that, you can restrict the access to a system. You can restrict the access to certain data level. You can restrict the access to certain actions, like you can change the data. You can create the data, or you can display only. Like that, you have restricted, okay, administratively in the all the systems and provided the access to the users. This is what SAP security will do. Okay. Here, first access management, admin control the navigation geographically by local admin, that is security and administration, physical security and administration. Next, it is controlled to the systems through SAP security. Then what need to be your action points? User administration and roles administration, or what? You can control this in this way. Okay. Now you have introduced to the security very well. Okay. Now we understood what a SAP security people will be doing and why a security came into picture. Basically, this has been done by basis people. But when SOX came into picture, they want certain functional knowledge to people to provide the access. Therefore, they have splitted the basis into a basis in security. Okay. Now the security people will take care of all the SOX compliance, SOD, etc., and then they will be providing the accesses. Okay. But can you say that there is no challenge? There is a biggest challenge because of manual intervention. See, basically the business process runs like that. Today Sunita have joined the organization and her manager Gauri have given an access to her. And then what happens is she have approved certain access to her. Okay. Then it went to, okay, the solution provider, security people. Then she told give the invoice processing access to India, that is company code 1. But by mistake we have given invoice processing access to Indonesia, that is company code 10. Okay. These things may happen because of manual intervention. You admit with me, isn't it?
Yeah.
There are certain challenges because of manual intervention, and top management could not convince now today, because technically we have upgraded a lot. Okay, now top management, this audit committee and other people are not convinced with the manual interventions in the SOX compliance. Okay, they want all automated. Therefore, GRC came into picture. What GRC does, you know? GRC will have a workflow established in the GRC system. Now today what happened? Sunita will raise a request for a role. Gauri will approve it. Then what will happen? Automatically this too happens in GRC system. Then GRC system after approval navigates to backend ECC, assigns the role to the user at ABAP level and closes the request. Where is the manual intervention? There is no manual intervention. Okay, like that all these access control aspects will be taken care by GRC without any manual intervention. Slowly they are closing the security team at all right now. Okay.
Okay.
Now Now I hope you understood is a business, why SOX came into picture, what are the controls, okay? And then this SOX will be answered by, initially have been answered by security team. Now security became old. Now we need a automatic control. Then GRC got introduced. GRC is providing certain solutions without manual intervention. So till here you understood very neatly, okay? Now
Yeah.
give me 5 minutes to expose you towards the components of the GRC, okay?
Okay.
Basically, see, I said GRC access control. Okay. Here, I said one control called EAM. This is emergency access management. Here we take care of FFID management. This is firefighter ID, where you have a wider access. Structure of FFID, okay, its ownership, okay, on its ownership on structure and assignment, okay, to whom this FFID need to be assigned, assignment, okay, control, monitoring, okay, mitigating, etc., okay, with audit logs. This is the complete solution where you have for FFID. See, emergency access management, giving you the access, okay, in emergency cases, giving you the FFID access in emergency cases. So you admit that this is also an access control, isn't it?
Yes.
Now we have BRM, that is business role management. So from what you will be providing the access? Access is provided through, okay, roles. Okay, access is provided through roles. Therefore, this role management is what part of access control, isn't it? Okay, so
Yeah.
here also you admit that, accept that this is also part of access. What it will be doing? It will be connecting, okay, to the back end. I will say to different backends for each purpose. That means for role generation, okay, it will go to development system. For role provisioning, it will go to production system. This dynamic connectivity, role attributes, okay, next role methodology, okay, in its administration, okay, role administration, we can design a methodology. All these things will be taken care by BRM. You admitted that this is also part of access control because access provided through the roles only. And you have ARM. This is access request management. Access request is nothing but the user administration. What will be there in the user administration? Can you just give me some of the advices? What will be there? I mean, like examples. What will be there?
Maybe security access, module
Create
access.
the user. Yeah, create the user. Provide access. Okay. Lock, unlock, delete, etc. Okay. Now, all this user administration will be taken care by access request management, and also we have a workflow management also taken care by ARM. Okay. What's the workflow management means? Okay. Above user administration runs through workflow. Okay. Also, other workflows. What are the other workflows? These are GRC objects you can take. Okay. Also, other workflows like GRC objects we'll write. Like GRC objects, risk management, okay, next function ID management, next mitigation management, next FFID assignment, no, FFID assignment comes under user administration. FFID log submission, okay, for controller. Role approval, okay, etc. also will have a workflow. So in the workflow we have raising a request, getting it approved, auto provisioning. Auto provisioning means role assigned, role assignment approved, and user not present in backend. Then what do? If you are in security, I have received a mail saying that please assign this role to so and so user in the so and so system. In that system that user is not present. Then what do? You will create the user, send the initial password to the user and assign the role. Isn't it? In the same way, okay, if user not present, then GRC creates the user, okay, sends the password and assigns the role. These are called auto provisioning settings. So this is also called access control only, isn't it?
Yeah.
ARM also is part of access control. But what's happening is we have certain risks arising through access control, through access management. What are the risks? We have just discussed. Those risks are as per SOX compliance. Okay? What are those? Those are nothing but SOD. Okay? What is an SOD? It is a risk where, okay, there is a possibility to do fraudulent activity, okay, with the combination of access, okay, where with the combination of access where it is giving certain possibility to do the fraud is called SOD risk. But there is one more risk called CRIT. This is the risk without any combination, the access itself can damage the company, organization. Okay, these are called critical risks. So you have seen an SOD risk and you have seen a critical risk. These are the risks which are arised through access management. Therefore, to handle these risks, okay, to handle above risks, we have ARA. Okay, ARA is access risk analysis. Okay, this is what ARA is. Now here it will find the risks. Okay, it will analyze the risk and provides the report. Helps in remediation, also in mitigation. Not only that, also handles the mitigation IDs. Okay, with integration with, by integrating to process control. Okay, now tell me one thing. We have seen certain risks. Okay, vendor payment and vendor master maintenance, we have seen the risk. Okay, you don't want to give the access, then stop, remediate, not a problem. Okay, we will discuss about all these things in detail in the class. Okay, but I want to tell you the mitigation. What is the mitigation? Okay, here it will say okay to provide the access. You give the access, not at all a problem. Okay, but establish a control. Okay, what is the control you can establish here? Review the vendor master changes and approve the changes. Clear, no?
Okay.
So tomorrow whenever the vendor master changes happens, manager should approve. And he should also run a report saying that how many changes have been made and every change has been approved or not. Okay.
Okay.
So this is called mitigation.
Okay.
Just a moment. Now here, this GRC, okay, what are the 4 modules we have? Okay, these are the things like in 10 we have this ARM, EAM, BRM and ARA. In 5.3 it is called some other names. Before that we used to have VIRSA, which is having another terms. Okay. So with the risk analysis we will be cleaning the company. Now our Akhil went into an organization where we want to configure GRC. Now first what he will do, he will clean up completely, no risks present in the company, in the organization. He will clean up with ARA, runs risk analysis, remediate, mitigate, handles the mitigation IDs, cleaned up. Now he has to stay clean, no? Then he will introduce BRM, EAM and ARM. Okay? Like this he will ensure that always the company should establish in a safest and clean environment from the risks. Okay? This is what the access control components are. And in detail we have discussed all these things. We will later on we will discuss about all these things and we'll go ahead. This is the GRC setup. Okay? The middle one, whatever is you are finding, okay, this is the GRC FND_A. It's a software containing access control, process control, risk management in it. It is connected to the backend systems through RFC connections. Okay, and it can also be connected through a web browser. Okay, it's a front end, NWBC. And this is also connected to your Active Directory, whatever you said you have. Okay, so IDMS solution, where user is created in the IDMS when he joined the organization. Automatically it is triggered and created his user ID in the GRC. Tomorrow manager will choose the user in GRC box and assign role from BI, HR, non-HR, etc. in the GRC only. User will undergo all the approval process. After approval, smartly GRC navigates to different backend systems, creates the user and assigns the role. This is how GRC have become a main server between IDMS and also the backends. Hope it is clear how the business goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
So these are the, yes, I mean like any clarifications needed? Yes.
No, thanks.
No. See, these are the documents which I will be sharing. Basically, I will be taking the session configuring each and every aspect, maximum to maximum of access control. And whatever we do in the session, no, all these things I will complete the notes. Okay, example, I will take one notes, okay, which I have done this batch 4. This is the batch 5 I have kept. Okay, batch 4, let me see that. See the example, this is the notes which I will only prepare while having the session. I don't want anyone to be prepared their notes, because if you keep on writing, no, whatever I say, if you may feel that this is important, but this is important point. Okay, and if you keep on writing, you will be losing some of the points. So I will ensure that I will write down whatever I am discussing. Okay?
Okay.
So like this, 40% of the class happened and we have written this much big notes. Okay, and I will only share these notes. Okay, now this is one I will provide to you, and then whatever I do the configuration, that configuration I will not write because it will take long time, but I will provide this document to you. See, I have established the, see, I am activating the applications in the client. Okay, see, just a moment, it's got missed. See, here I am activating the HTTP services. So this is the information, this is the transaction code, this is the path. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you, and also all the participants will get day-to-day recordings to their to their mail ID, so that like they can, while they're practicing, they can go through the videos as a reference and they can actions. As and when they wanted to review the session, they can review it. And also we have a blog where you can connect to our trainers. As and when you have any queries, you can connect with them.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
So this is the configuration document which we are having. Okay.
Okay.
For every configuration, you will have a step. It's transaction code to do the activity, and also the path, navigation, and how to do screenshots, explanation, etc. Completely, I've just ensured to present in that. And here you have a components which we will be discussing.
Okay.
We have post installation. Once software is installed by the basis, from there we will be taking care. We have post installation, common configurations, and we have access request management, ARA, BRM, okay, EAM, etc. Okay, all this this ARM includes MSMP workflow, BRF plus, all these things are there. Okay, customized MSMP with a dynamic BRF plus we will see, not a problem. And also once after the session also, if you face any scenario, like, you can share it with me so that I can give some solutions if you want. Okay. So, and in addition to that, I can share some of the documents which is supporting this document. Okay, example, the connection settings, post installation. This is the connector, this is the connection type, connector group, what need to be connected in the group, settings, connector settings. See, like this, I am bringing all these things under one umbrella. These are the business process you need to maintain. These are the owners, what owner will be doing what activity. Okay, so like this, I have made some of the documents which I can share with you. Okay, and each owner contain, these are the parameters, and each owner contain what roles to perform his activity. This is the example. Okay, basically, like, we have covered up nicely only. Now the thing is, it's very core for you. You have understood the concept by the notes which I am providing. You are also doing the activity by seeing how to configure, which we have discussed in the session. The business design you will be discussing in the session, and then you have a configuration document. You do the end-to-end configuration and you get the result. You will be happy. That's fine. But here you will be lacking a thought, like you will be having some challenge in your thought is, I have just gone through and done whatever is there, but I am not sure how far I am successful. Okay, if individually someone asks me, I've just gone through the document and I have made, how far I can make, I don't know. For that situation, this is the document which we will be sharing. This is the interpretation document. Okay, whatever we discuss, you will have a questions here. Okay, you have your own answers for this. Refer my notes, refer the document, refer other information, and have your own answers. If you have any trouble in answering this, you can come to me, I will help you. Okay, these are about 150 questions which we have made. Okay.
Okay.
So this, then you will be familiar with the terminology, concept, business design, and also now you can face any interviews and also the client meetings, etc. Okay, once if you do this. This is what the core. Okay, you just visit, keep coming, couple of days we'll see. And with regards to the timings and other things, like you can discuss with the institute. Okay, I will be coordinating with him. Right now, directly I just want to share my availability right now is from Indian timing. I am saying like 7:30 to 9 I am taking a batch. Okay, that will continue for 2 more weeks. Then I am available in the earlier time. Okay, till then, okay, IST 9 o'clock I am engaged. Other than that, it's your wish. And afternoon I'll be going to the office. So from 9 to morning 12:30 in the noon. Okay, you can take any of the times. This I just wanted to make you comfort while discussing about the timings with the institute, so that I just shared with you. And this is for 15 days. After that, it's your wish. I'll give the priority to your batch, like you can take whatever the time you want. Then the next batch I'll give the second option. Okay?
Sure.
Right.
To explain them about the certification help guidance.
See, basically, I say
It's,
for Gauri
it's very easy.
especially.
No, it's very
Yeah,
easy for
I'll
them
just.
because they're based out Canada.
Hmm,
So
hmm,
it's
hmm.
not like in India it would be difficult for them. It
Ah,
can be very easily, can do that.
I have a couple of
Yes, please.
points on this front. You nicely reminded me. See, basically, especially for Gauri, like, see, if you want to enter into a SAP right now or any IT industry, okay, it is purely some coding and other things, which will be a type of rocket science type. Okay, now this is very simple. It's a configuration, and business understanding is very basically very much good. I mean, easier for Indians also. Okay,
Yeah.
because they born and brought up with certain exposure towards certain business terms. Okay, because we are in developing country, no, so I hope like you can catch business understanding very fastly. Now coming to the point on other modules, if you take FI right now or HR or some other module right now, see, already people have been established from very long back, and they are expecting a lot of expertise on that modules, because they have grown with the module. They have also had a lot of exposure, and they are introducing the new dynamics in those modules. Okay, they have many applications for FI and HR for different activities in the business. So it is very difficult for us right now to have a exposure and to have a job in that modules. Instead of GRC, why I am suggesting is it's a very new module. It's having an age of 2-3 years. That's it. GRC 10. So it's the right time if you learn, and GRC is also a new module and a new solution to the business. So there are 95% of the world companies are in requirement of GRC, whereas only required companies 5% only have got implemented GRC till now. On 5% of implementation, you are finding a lot of career. Think about 95%. You don't need to go I mean like to any other vertical, okay, till your retirement if you come to the GRC. This is what I can assure. Okay, so this is the right module for you to enter into. But to enter into this module, people are expecting that you should know security and also GRC. Okay, because in GRC you are taking user administration and role administration, but in security also you do the same activities. So generally they have merged this both the I mean competences. So you have to work in mixed competency, security and GRC acts control. Okay, so therefore you should not be having any nightmare on working on support side of security or any other thing. Okay, better you learn. It's not a big thing. It's very simple. Okay, our friend here actually who have joined from Pune. If you ask, he can also give an exposure of the Suresh. I mean Kumar approves, no. So we can have a sessions from any of the security, or let us ask any other faculties there on security for that. So I suggest you to go for security and then GRC also. It will be good. Okay. I am finding some companies exclusively they are recruiting GRC. In US it is more, okay, but I mean like it's a suggestion. And then one more thing. See, I am getting some documents uh, with regards to the business design in the US right now, which I am making some solutions for them. I think it's not here. Okay, so I'm getting some job descriptions. So some SOX exposure, SOD exposure basically is needed. Okay, I mean like to have a very big career, to have a direct reporting to a topmost person working on the compliance issue and other things, it is very easy for you. Okay, getting exposed to small aspects.
Okay.
So you can brief me on the Canada market, okay? And if you can provide me some of the job descriptions from Canada also, I can design some course, like I can provide some of the solutions, some knowledge aspects which I had, okay? The documents and other things, so that you can catch hold of the things easily. Okay.
Okay. Murthy, I just have a question. Like in Canada market, when we are searching with GRC, I'm not getting more jobs in Indeed or any other. So I just want to know some job titles so that I can do and send you the descriptions on.
Okay, okay. Job title should be GRC only, SAP GRC. Okay.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
SAP GRC is the job title, and I have some connections in Canada. Okay, I can ask them. They are working right now in access control, process control, and security. Okay, he is so much engaged in commercially in Canada. He is asking me to arrange process control implementation also. Okay, where from students like you who have learned from me, I will give some projects to them so that until they get the job, no, they can do certain configuration. They'll have a real-time exposure. They'll get some money. So that way, like I'm getting some options also from Canada. Okay, so market is there. I'll just let you know what need to be checked and where to be checked. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, I'm just taking the
And you
control.
also
Okay. Murthy sir, I'm taking
and
the
suggest
control.
them,
Right?
Kumar, suggest them to also have a to keep some efforts on searching on GRC domain. Okay.
No, I'm just checking right now in Indeed. Yes, there are I mean, there are a couple of openings are there, but like the titles were different. Business consultant, governance, risk and compliance. If I think they can
Can you
see
give
my
Canada in the place?
no, it's a Canada only. ca.indeed.com.
Oh, sorry, fine.
There are 107 posts are published. But like they need to have a roadmap. It's not like immediately they can land in a job. At least they should time. The underwent after the GRC they should go for basics of security is covered. Then prepare the resume, mock interviews. Then at least it requires 3 to 4 months time to get inside. Okay. That's it. So you can take my.
No problem. There's nothing for me to disclose right now.
Can you, sorry, can you change the title to?
1 minute, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So this is what?
They're asking me title means what title you wanted to get changed?
GRC.
This is GRC title, right? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, can you go to advanced job search?
1 minute, like where do you have an advanced job search?
Right corner. Right.
Next to find jobs.
Oh, fine, okay.
Yeah. So there we have something called job title.
Just tell me what you want me to give here. Exact.
Okay, there is something called with these words.
GRC can be the phrase.
No,
what?
2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5.
Yes. With these words in title. GRC job.
No, only keep GRC, no job. Actually, she's asking for job title. Consultant, architecture, solution, SME, like that. But keep GRC and search. That's it.
Can we delete the top ones, like with all these words, GRC? Yeah. Just with the job title as GRC. Yeah.
Oh, it's only 14 jobs, right?
That's what, and it's a business consultant. Business consultant.
And especially in Toronto, we see hardly 3 or 4, I think.
No, that you need to, as I'm telling that, you have to wait till the job comes to you. You should plan yourself. Even the first.
No, actually.
Yes.
The previous search, whatever we have made, that the first one also we have ensured that also, like, just one more time you just keep GRC and search.
Because that is showing CSS, HTML, everything.
Yes, yes. You just give SAP GRC.
I tried
Yes.
that also.
And not here. The top I thought. Still fine. No problem.
It got reduced.
No, it will be reducing if you give options in the down. Okay.
See, this is what I saw, so I'm just wondering, like, am I typing it right or?
That you need to check one more time. Okay. As per my information, like there are good openings in the GRC in Canada even.
I will also
Will,
search in different sites and see.
yeah, just check it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'll just speak to them who is working in Canada. Some of my students. Okay. Then I can guide you like where to go and do the.
We have 15 days time to launch a batch, and you can get your research done from your side, and you can come back to us. Not a problem.
Sure.
We host a batch every 15 days to now. So you can take your own time and come back to us, no problem. But we have securities opening also. Security.
Yeah, SAP security there are 447 now. All these SAP securities will have GRC requirement. See? No. Such SAP security.
Title. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, here also 10.
No. See, actually, okay. Okay, fine. That's fine. See here, wherever you find you will find also the GRC terms here. If you go Control F and give GRC, you will find at least 4 or 5 here. GRC consultant, control, SAP GRC. So you also have a look into SAP security. Wherever security is there, you will find GRC openings. Okay.
So it is better to get the complete package, GRC, security with GRC both. So then it will be good for you, to get inside. Yes, of course, though it's niche, but like once you are there, you have a long-term career, that is for sure.
Okay.
So how about the course duration?
It will be for 1 month.
1 month.
GRC
Every
only
day
for
I will take, only GRC 1 month. I'll take at least 1.5 hours. And if you want to parallelly learn security also, that will be good actually.
that would be for
so you need to engage. You need to engage 1 more hour for that, and you can parallelly do the practicals of the security and GRC both together.
Oh, okay. And that is for how long? Security? The course duration.
Course duration, Kumar will say. Kumar, basically ECC and some HR BI is enough.
Okay.
Generally that will take 1 month only.
1 month, yes, 1 month.
It will also take 1 month only.
Okay. So it is advisable to take both the courses like security and GRC SAP?